On that same vein, in that story with ESPN, you talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
Yeah,
some people might say, hey, for the trans community, this could be something that could come back on us or be targeted against us. Like, how do you, I guess, view that sort of critique?
You know, like I said, I extend love, and I don't dislike anyone. Like, I think there is room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone. And I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you actually have a lot in common with a lot of people. And so I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women, and I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that.
We have scholarship systems and that sort of thing. That's where I say that common sense people get together and you find common ground to find a way to be inclusive. The answer isn't no. It is not the case that we have, quote, biological men in girls' locker rooms. The way it's being phrased, the innuendo there that somehow transgender women are predators of some kind in the locker room. There's a lot of narrative that is problematic that we need to address. That is simply not what's happening. I think we can take on the issue. There are more and more transgenders in our country as years go by.
See Cheryl Reeve wearing a shirt today in support of trans kids. Trans kids belong on the shirt. This in the aftermath of Sophie Cunningham's recent comments. We actually saw Cheryl and Sophie speaking at center court pregame. And yesterday, Cheryl Reeve spent a lot of time talking at length with the media about this topic.
I would encourage anyone to go and listen to Cheryl Reeve's comments. Incredibly thoughtful, easy to find online. And
you're a male and transitioning to female, you should be playing against the women. Nobody said you can't transition from male to female. The issue here is competing against the women. That's what Sophie Cunningham was talking about. That's what Riley Gaines is talking about. How are you, Coach Cheryl Reeve, and you could condone that? And then you're going to come out with a T-shirt. No regard for the WNBA. No regard for the sponsors that may be put off by that. No regard for the bottom line that might be affected because of a position that she has taken that you know is going to be politicized. Because that's what you did. No regard for that whatsoever. How is that okay? How? Because your spirit and your soul told you that's the right thing to do, so bump how it affects the collective brand of the WNBA and how they may be frowned upon by half of America when you need all the support that you can get in building your product is exceptional, as the league and these young ladies playing in the league have done in building the sport all of these years. And you just gonna come out there and wear that shirt, knowing it was gonna bring attention to you, and knowing that you're going up against the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark, who obviously is the #1 draw in the WNBA, which means cameras are rolling. It's just an accident or coincidence that that's the game you chose to wear that shirt, huh? This is the book. It's the selfishness. Cheryl Reeve, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx. That is an irresponsible thing to do. You are a coach for a female basketball team. Do you not think that the females are being screwed over if they have to compete against an individual born as a male? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
After everything that unfolded over the last few days, Stephen A. Smith finally addressed the controversy surrounding Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve, and he didn't hold back. His comments were centered on Reeves' press conference, along with the attention that followed after Sophie Cunningham showed up wearing a shirt meant to reinforce the message she wanted to make. Whether people agree with her or not, it was obvious Sophie Cunningham knew people would notice what she was wearing and that it would spark another round of conversation. What really stood out, though, was Stephen A. Smith taking such a firm position, and the speaker argues that his comments were based on what he sees as simple common sense rather than emotion. He also claims that while some people may disagree with Stephen A's stance, they haven't shown where his argument is factually wrong. According to the speaker, the real issue is what he believes is misleading language and reframing of the discussion instead of directly addressing the core question being debated. The speaker then shifts to the broader issue of transgender participation in women's sports, arguing that the discussion should focus on competitive fairness rather than personal feelings. He voices support for Sophie Cunningham, saying she should continue standing by her position despite the criticism he believes she's receiving. He also points to examples he's seen over the years in different competitions, arguing that athletes who went through male puberty can have physical advantages in strength, size, and speed compared with many female competitors. The speaker says those differences raise concerns about both competitive balance and the possibility of injuries during competition. He closes by questioning why this issue continues to be part of women's sports discussions at all, arguing that it creates concerns extending beyond competition and into areas like locker room dynamics. The speaker echoed what Stephen A. Smith said, arguing that people are free to live their personal lives however they choose, but he believes the conversation changes once those choices affect other people's opportunities or competition. From his perspective, the issue isn't about judging anyone personally, it's about what he sees as fairness in sports. He also criticized what he views as an over-reliance on ideology and emotion, saying he believes the discussion should be centered on practical concerns instead. According to the speaker, some coaches may be reluctant to speak publicly because they don't want to deal with criticism or risk hurting their careers. He questioned whether the WNBA will eventually have to address the issue more directly, while also arguing that the league is unlikely to move in a direction that would fundamentally change women's competition. The speaker then made his position clear, saying he believes athletes who are born male have physical characteristics that create an unfair competitive advantage in women's sports. To explain his viewpoint, he compared those perceived advantages to the concerns sports already have about performance-enhancing substances like steroids and HGH, arguing that the competitive gap is an even bigger issue in his eyes. He finished by once again voicing support for Sophie Cunningham, encouraging her to continue standing by her position despite the criticism surrounding the debate.